Hey, what's the dumbest thing you've done in Dungeons & Dragons and have been proud of? Let us know in the comments below, you little troublemakers. Today's sponsor is History of Heroes. Come witness the backstories of up-and-coming adventurers, hand-illustrated and dramatically narrated by the Forever DM, from before they made their first appearance in the best available. Link in the description. Prevented a fight with nothing but a rock. We accidentally woke up a gargoyle. It was sitting among a bunch of other gargoyles that hadn't woken up yet. Classic trap. The DM had us roll initiative. Instead of jumping straight into the fight, my elf offered it a rock. She has a habit of giving out little decorated rocks as gifts, so she just held one out to the gargoyle, not saying a single word, with a goofy little smile. The DM went, roll persuasion? And I rolled high. She confused the thing so badly it just went back to sleep. Fight avoided. One time my DM said, "Nah, I won't do that. It's too mean," while looking at the boss's stat block in the middle of a battle. And I said, "Do it. Fuck me up, fam. Yeah!" Oh boy, that was a fun one. Not me, but the bard in my group was really excited to try out Stinking Cloud. We surprised an enemy patrol and he had the highest initiative, so he started with this spell, totally forgetting that it obscures the enemies from us. The rest of us wasted the entire surprise round because nobody wanted to go into the cloud. Once the surprise round was over, the DM informed us that the enemies were immune to poison, which made them immune to the effects of Stinking Cloud as well. What was supposed to be an easy fight turned into chaos as the enemies used the cloud for cover. It was hilarious. Me and the other barbarian in the party adopted an eldritch monstrosity as our daughter. When it wasn't a writhing mass of maggots and tentacles, it pretended to be a little girl. We took it on a shopping trip through town, told it bedtime stories, and tried to teach it about human society, to the best of our less than stellar intelligence anyway. When the local mages guild worked with the rest of the party to put it down like a rabid dog, we had to be physically held down because we were bawling our eyes out. I'll miss you, one. You may have been an emissary for an eldritch god's invasion of the material plane, but you were the best fake daughter I ever had. Twin cast reduced to have a fist fight in a salad bowl. We made a makeshift Thunderdome, and I ended up casting Shatter in the bowl. We were gnomes, which is why the DM allowed us to be tiny enough for this. I'm fully aware the rules don't technically allow it, but it was all for fun and had zero stakes. We created air conditioning. I found some moss that absorbed heat and released cold. We had a cleric who could create an eternal flame. So I put the two in a box, separated by about 6 inches with vents on both sides. The moss sucked in the heat, creating airflow, so a constant cool breeze came out of one side. We were playing a Jumanji-style game where D&D came to the real world, and the other party members got to decide your class and stats. We'd been using our real names until session 4, when the DM suddenly asked us what nicknames we'd use. The other 2 players came up with some fantastical fantasy names on the spot. Me? I panicked and blurted out the first thing that came to mind. From that session on, my oath to the crowned paladin was called Mr. Lol Butts. My cleric had a scroll of polymorph and used it to turn a high-level demon into a chicken. Our monk picked up the demon chicken, sprinted to a tight spot in the cave, crammed it into a small tunnel, and killed it. The chicken turned back into a demon, which died instantly from being crushed by rocks. After the session, the DM told us that the demon actually had advantage and a +8 on spell save DCs, but it just rolled terribly. Hey, can I go with stupid and useless? Last week, a dwarf barbarian in our party used an iron pot to skip across an electrified floor without dying. I'm not sure the physics worked on that, but I wasn't about to argue with the DM. Now, the stupid part came later, back at camp. My 6 intelligence orc decided it looked fun and wanted to try it, on uneven ground, using the dwarf's pot. After all the rolls were done, he ended up tumbling down a hill, face planting into a pile of dog shit with the pot stuck on his head. God, I love playing truly stupid characters. Githyanki Psi Fighter Dual Wielder. We were getting attacked by Puritans. Since we were all melee focused, we couldn't do that much as they flew away after attacking. So I used Misty Step to teleport 30 feet into the air next to a Puritan. Then I action surged 4 attacks plus bonus action attack plus Psi Strike. That was a total of 6d8 plus 20 strength bonus across the attacks, plus 3 int bonus for Psi Strike. 6d8 plus 23. He had no chance. I killed him, fell to the ground, and used my reaction to activate my Psi Shield to reduce the fall damage. I think I only took, 2 damage total? It was the most satisfying and ridiculous moment I've ever had in D&D. I turned into a flying Puritan blender. My little shit talks too much half-elf bard challenged our dwarf cleric to a drinking contest while visiting the dwarf's hometown and favorite crowded bar. Really stupid thing to do. I had decent constitution, but everyone was trying to talk my stupid bard out of it. Naturally, that only made him more determined. And by sheer luck and rolls of the dice, I won, baby. Even with the dwarf rolling with advantage, I was just rolling really well. We both lasted enough rounds to hit a DC 25. We both eventually failed the DC, but I failed by less. The DM narrated as both of us passing out, but I was the last one to fall. My bard earned an honorary dwarven name and finally the respect of the dwarf PC. We ended up being best buds. High five! We broke into a store, as one does, found the wall safe and tried to lockpick it. We rolled so poorly that we jammed the lock. Undeterred, I proceeded to axe the safe out of the wall, load it into a stolen cart, and take it back to our boat. We eventually broke it open, only to find a handful of gold. 10 out of 10, would barbarian problem solve again? My ranger spent all his money hiring a high-level bard to secretly go ahead of the party and tell every tavern how amazing he was. He was a narcissist obsessed with fame and wanted to become a superhero known as the Hawk. One Christmas, the DM let us pick a magic item, and I asked for a Hawk-themed superhero suit that mended itself. The party never figured out why they were famous everywhere we went, or why I was always broke, until after the Hawk died. I yelled, "What's that behind you?" at a guy sitting in a chair against the wall. With my -2 charisma, I somehow rolled a nat 20, grabbed his flintlock pistol from the table, and rolled another 20 to shoot him in the face. I died shortly after because, of course, he wasn't even below half health. Not me, but a party member found a struggling woodworker whose specialty was making doors. His business was failing because, let's face it, once a house has a door, nobody buys another one. My barbarian friend started kicking in every door in the village, giving the woodworker a ton of business. The woodworker became a great ally. We were facing a chimera blocking the only exit out of the room. My half-orc barbarian decided to punch it in the face during the surprise round to distract it long enough for the rest of the party to escape. In a cruel twist of fate, the chimera crit me and knocked me down, but in an even crueler twist of fate for the DM, I used my half-orc ability to pop back up to 1 HP instead of going to 0. Then I disengaged and dipped out with the party. The chimera was too large to follow through the passage, and we all lived to fight another day. Disguised as one of the enemy, I burst into a room where a group of goons were laughing at a goblin licking puddles off the floor. I bounced onto a bed, waved my cloak around, and pointed to my party coming in behind me, commanding the goons to take them out. When the goons turned on my party, I started stabbing them in the back. Ah, the simple joys. The DM let me play a UA lore mastery wizard and gave me an item that used blood magic to enhance spells. Why? I still have no idea. The item let me collect blood points from dealing damage with no storage limit. I also had a troll head I prevented from fully regenerating, which I used to farm points with the DM's blessing. With enough points, I could increase spell radius, range, and damage. I wasn't proud of it, but I used it to glass an entire city with one fireball after spending a ridiculous amount of blood points. It was at this point the DM realized pretty quickly that this was a problem. The cultist opened the door to his cottage. My party had just dared me to eat a table full of rotten food from an abandoned building nearby, and the DM said I'd gotten some sort of sickness. So without care about the cultist's origins, I immediately said, I need to take a shit! And passed a persuasion check. What, with the toilet? He let me pass and find the toilet, which I proceeded to use. Meanwhile, things escalated with my party and the cultist in the doorway. They shout, "Do it!" I get up from the toilet and wild surge rage, gaining the ability to teleport. I teleport to the bedroom where two cultists lay on a bunk bed. I swing my hammer, critically hitting the bed and killing the cultist on top and bringing the bed crashing down on the one below, squishing him like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. TLDR, gained entry to a bad guy's house, took a fat shit, pulled my pants up, and teleported around massacring them in rage mode. I play a 6'5" leonin paladin. Big dude, you can see him from a mile away. He was investigating this girl who went into a tower, yada yada, trying to find stuff. Goes into the tower and finds runes. Ruins the runes. Then he hears footsteps coming up the stairs, and at that moment I fully expect him to get caught and almost give up. Then I roll a nat 20 on stealth. This giant lion dude literally jumps onto the ceiling and uses his claws to hang there. Everyone at the table lost their minds. I covered myself in animal fats to attract a werebird that had been attacking the city. The plan worked. I played dead to get swallowed, and once inside, I cast Holy Weapon, Booming Blade, and Hexblade's Curse. I absolutely throttled the bird, and it ended up barfing me out mid-flight. It effectively ejected its stomach liner, which acted as a bag. The contents cushioned my fall, saving me from near max fall damage potential. I've got a ring of spell storing, and my cleric gives me a level 5 holy weapon most days. In total, here's what I hit it with. 2d6 slashing, 2d8 radiant, 5d8 thunder, plus 12 charisma. Hexblade's Curse, plus 2 weapon. I was playing a dumb as bricks barbarian, as you do, searching for someone in a ruined village, as you should. Naturally, my character just shouts the guy's name really loud while looking, "Hey, Bob!" In response, we hear an incredibly loud roar. Here's what my barbarian thinks. I guess that must be him then. Next thing you know, we're almost TPK'd by a dragon. Not Bob. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know what the dumbest thing was that you've done in D&D that you've been proud of. And of course, if you want to help support the channel, please join our membership program. You don't have to, but if you do, you get early access to videos and maybe some other goodies too. We love you all. Be safe, happy, and healthy. We'll see you next time.